Is astrology a guide to aid us in mastering the universe? This is the Cosmic Community Podcast with Galactic Ambassador Stacey Dredd. Hey everyone, thanks for being tuned in to KPOV 88.9 FM, your high desert community radio in Bend, Oregon. Hope you're having a good day. This is Stacey Dredd, Galactic Ambassador in the Cosmic Community. That's our astrology program here Tuesdays 4:30 to 5 p.m., where we discuss the week's planetary and lunar influences, talk about how we may be able to tune in with the cycles and live within them to be in more harmony with the universe and create a more benevolent life for all. So thank you so much for making time and space in your day today to receive these messages. And if you need a playback or the archive program to share out with more people in the community, you can find that at the Cosmic Community's local show page at kpov.org. And you can also join the community on YouTube and Facebook and follow me there. That's the Cosmic Community Astrology. And also catch a rebroadcast of this program Saturdays at 9 a.m. We are in the midst of an in-between week, a week of endings, a week of major slowdowns and major rethinks and possibly major upsets. We're still very much coming off of the energy of that full moon in Scorpio last week that also was a lunar eclipse. We are in the midst of Mercury retrograde and going to see Mercury stationing direct this week, which does also just bring more of a slowdown and a couple of other astrological events sprinkled in that I'm going to discuss during the show today. So I hope that you had a good full moon and that everything was fully benevolent for you. That was, kind of regarded as one of the deeper sort of darker full moons. Full moons are meant to be light and expressive and illuminate. And Scorpio is about the darker places, maybe the more taboo things that we don't like to talk about. Maybe some of those things that, are less appealing that get brought up during these Scorpio full moons because we do find illumination in those dark places. And so very much something to dive into. And so I hope that was a big, beautiful, emotional ocean for you. And you were able to find peace there and able to go there and utilize that to your most benevolent outcome, of course. And so coming off of the eclipses, I really feel personally like this time is a very much an extended eclipse. I think we've got a full-on extendo eclipse going on right now, and that's just like my personal feeling. But also we feel these full moons for 2 weeks after they happen until that next new moon, and we work our way, into that new beginning. But that's why I introed the show today as being a time of like an in-between phase and a time of endings, because we are entering the third quarter moon this week and dealing with that waning process. And that is very much a releasing. We've come to the full moon. This has been a big one of release also, since we're dealing with concepts and things that we've dug up, from the depths, and we need to really have an opportunity to release these things. And that's really what we've been going through. And the third cycle of the moon phase comes through, and we really have that culmination and then the closing, the closeout, the ending. And so this week has been more endings, more of what this eclipse was really bringing in. Scorpio right now holds the south node. The south node is the south lunar node of destiny, and kind of brings things to light that we need to let go of, and the things that want to be released out of our life, places that we are walking away from, things that we are leaving behind. We have exhausted the use of that. There's no longer a benevolent use for whatever in our life, so it's released and it's let go. The north node, on the other hand, the north node brings things into our lives, triggers bringing things in. And during these eclipses, we are dealing with the nodes. That is what causes everything gets lined up just perfectly, and that's when we get these eclipse times. And so we've been working with the south node in Scorpio during this full moon. Pluto, being the ruling planet of Scorpio, also the planet about death and rebirth, and the phases that we go through when it comes to, having, I guess it's represented by these different levels, the scorpion, the eagle, and then the dove. So it's kind of like the phoenix rising from the ashes, and growth, regeneration. This is very much regenerative and brings that quality through everywhere that Pluto goes. And Scorpio naturally deals with these themes because Pluto is the ruling planet there. The south node is there. So we have sort of a triple whammy when it comes to this full moon lunar eclipse that I believe we are still really in the midst of and still really very much working with. It's a great time to continue to release, to continue to let go, and to see, let these illuminations come in regarding anything that's outlived its usage, things that maybe we are putting so much energy towards, but it's not reaping any benefits, right? That's sort of a non-benevolent expression there. We have Pluto in a square also during this time with the south node. So a square is a challenging phase. It's also a place where when we take that step that needs to be taken, that we can really level up. That is a phrase that I hear in my house a lot because I have teenagers and pre-teenager who plays video games, and they're talking about leveling up right now. Well, that to me is a square energy. And so we have these major breakdowns, these major endings, these deaths and rebirths happening right now. But it is very much an opportunity to level up. The eclipse times make things happen very quickly. We can see it's like a zap, right? It's that lightning bolt, and it happens very quickly. It's like traveling through the wormhole. You can be in one part of the universe and end in another part of the universe in incredible quick amounts of time when it comes to eclipses, and relate that to whatever universe it is that you're working with, whether that be some things that you're going through in life, or themes that dealing with, maybe possibly, endings and beginnings in regards to different parts of life right now, jobs or homes or marriages or contracts, ending, or new things coming in. So, this is all going to be different it's going to come out in a different expression in different people's lives. And so wherever that's happening for you right now, this is a great time. It's supported by the universe to really release and let go of anything that, is weighing. This can be psychologically tied up also. Scorpio, Pluto, very much a sign about about breaking down psychological barriers, moving through mental health, times, giving your brain an opportunity to, it's like it's tied into hypnotism. So when you go into like a meditative hypnotic state, you give your brain time to release things in like a totally different way. So yeah, very, very interesting. And like I was saying, I still very much feel like we are working with this right now. Like it's still here. It's still very much prevalent. And so yeah, continue to release, continue to let go. And we are very much going to be feeling that over the course of the next week for sure, and into next week until we hit the new moon and have the opportunity for some new beginnings. 444-444-444 on all of my clocks here. Stacey Dredd, Galactic Ambassador in the cosmic community, here with you discussing the astrology for the week. And I very much appreciate you being here and sharing and becoming part of the community. And thanks for your listens and your likes and all that stuff out on social media. It makes a really big difference for me, and I really love getting the word out. So please continue to share and like and draw people in to this astrological magnetism that we're creating here at the station. More and more people telling me that they're listening and really, really digging it and really getting a lot, and it's really helping people to manage the energies of the week, and that's surely what it's about for me. And so I'm glad that it's ending up that way and being helpful for folks out there. So some things going on this week. I mean, last week was big. Next week, I won't even get started in next week yet, but another big week next week. So the in-between phase, but yet we still have a lot going on. On May 9th, that's today that I'm bringing this message to you. So I am imbued with the energy of the events of today, and it's pretty big. We have our annual event of the sun meeting up, and with Uranus. Uranus is the planet of surprise and awakening, freedom, change. It's very much a volatile energy. This is like lightning strikes. Things can happen very quickly. Hence the awakenings, right? Sudden awakenings, and things can happen just very suddenly. Whatever it is, Uranus brings in a quickness to it, and it happens really, really fast because Uranus is like a boom, always like a flash of lightning. And the sun is like us. The sun represents the center of the universe, and ultimately the sun is like, this is us. This is our ego. This is us. This is happening, and we feel it whenever the sun has a conjunction or makes, aspects to other planets. That's a direct feeling. That's like the filter that we are seeing, the universe through. That's where all of the energy is rotating around is the sun. So whenever we have a conjunction of the sun and other planets, it's like, we really, really feel it. Right now is interesting for Uranus too, because Uranus is at the point in its orbit where it's really super exceptionally close to the sun. And so for this conjunction to be happening, I think this is going to just add to the quickness of events taking place this week, following the eclipse, anything that still has yet to manifest for you from the full moon, I think could have the opportunity to do that in this extendo eclipse phase. We're going to see things continuing to come through this week, and they're just like having this really tight conversation, the sun and Uranus right now. Uranus is the planet of freedom. And we just talked about we're having these major endings. And when we have endings, of course, you move a couch out of your living room and there is an empty space where the couch used to be. And that right there is freedom. That right there is creativity. That right there has infinite possibilities, right? When you empty, yeah, sure. You're going to probably get a new couch and put a new couch right there. And that's where your couch goes. And that's the point. But the point that I'm making is that when you remove something, when you have space, that before you've made the decision of what's going to be there, and maybe you've already made that decision, maybe you're forced into a decision and it's not your space and you're outvoted or whatever. But I'm talking about, this is like in our own personal life, right? We're creating space. So that space right there has infinite possibilities of what you could do with it. And that is like really insane when you think about it. It's like staring off of a cliff at a whole horizon and going, wow, there's just so much space here for so much. It feels expansive, right? There's an expansiveness to it. And that is the freedom that I feel is truly coming along with this Sun-Uranus conjunction this week. Yes, this is lightning energy, lightning bolt energy. We're talking about electricity. We're talking about even a bit of anxiousness. If you're feeling a little anxious, there's a lot of fidgeting, you're feeling fidgety or anything like that, like you're not really totally sure, like things just feel like a little unpredictable, like you're not totally sure, like there's just some nerves going on, feels very electric, and like it could go any which direction. That is the feeling of this week, and that's exciting, but it's also exacerbating because it's a little stressful. So if you're feeling a little bit like, oh my gosh, this week has a little too much to offer because you're not totally ready for all of that, that just to enjoy the view. You don't have to make any decisions right now. In fact, it's probably best not to make too many more rash decisions right now. We are still in Mercury retrograde, and that's a loaded statement right there, because yes, everybody feels as though sometimes during Mercury retrograde that it's hard, that you should avoid to make decisions. Well, that's just if you're dealing with new things that come up. But if it's something that you we're working with in themes before the Mercury retrograde happened, especially if it came up during the Mercury retrograde shadow, the week or two before Mercury went retrograde. That's what we're going back and making changes and moving forward again on during this Mercury retrograde. And so, those are the themes that we can work with, but being careful, not to make too many, quick decisions, even though it might feel like we need to do something really quickly, to just hold out because we've got Mercury still in retrograde. I just thought we could tune in real quick with some of this Uranus energy. I love bringing in these this one is a 30-second audio clip of the audio frequencies coming off of, being emitted off of the planet of Uranus that NASA caught. And so just to tune in here and make sure that our intentions this week are feeling good. We're going to do a 30-second meditation with this really strong Uranus energy, just so we can get completely oriented here. So I've heard a lot of these clips a lot, and that they just sound different to me every time. I love it. And that, to me, that little audio clip of the frequencies emitted off of the planet of Uranus caught by NASA, that there to me sounded like subduction, like plates of the earth moving together. It was almost like a grinding. And that just really made sense to me because Uranus is in the sign of Taurus right now, which is an earth sign. And Uranus has been shaking it up in Taurus. And all the Taurus people out there, people with Taurus energy, that's where Mercury retrograde is right now. That's where the Sun-Uranus conjunction is right now. And that is where it's all happening. And so that was super strong vision of that coming through, the tectonic plates of the earth grinding together. And yes, that is some friction. Yes, that is like powerful, but that is how New Earth is created. I paid that much attention in my earth science classes that, especially here in the West, like I'm an Oregonian. So I was raised all around these Cascade Mountains and, I wasn't quite born yet, but Mount St. Helens erupted a few years before I was born. And that brought a lot of attention to all the volcanic activity here and the Juan de Fuca fault and everything. And all of that energy is coming in here. And I mean, we are grinding through Taurus right now, having some earth-shattering moments. That is friction. That is major, major friction. But this is how we move forward. This is how we illuminate, use the messages. This is how we pull the messages up from the deep and refire it up. It becomes lava. It becomes hot lava. It all melts together into this one big thing and then gets to come to the top and create something brand new. And so I feel like we're just still in the grinding phase, though, and this new moon next week, and definitely the eclipses in 6 months. We're gonna see some explosions take place with new Earth and new life and new opportunities to create foundations and material foundations and to really feel safe and secure, which is what Taurus is a lot about. So Mercury stations direct on May 14th, and this is going to end the retrograde cycle, but Mercury's still going to be super slowed down. Okay. So things are, I'm going to start up the vegan show, all things vegan, right after this at 5:00. Got Judy's file all pulled in here, but poor gal, this is what your volunteer DJs do to get you what they want to get you. She was up all night getting her files together, and then, it's like, oh my gosh, Mercury retrograde, and so anyways, hang in there because we are going to be coming out of this, on top for sure. And, it's more time just to slow down. This is more time just to take some extra time. Make sure you're giving yourself extra time to get places. Make sure you're staying hydrated. You're bringing yourself that extra snack that you need because things are going to take a little bit longer this week than they might normally. Don't be afraid to uncover some of those beautiful messages that are coming up from the deep during this Mercury retrograde regarding those Taurus themes that we were just talking about. The intuition is very, very strong right now. And so this is a good time to dive deep because next week we're going to definitely have some big changes coming in, which is really great. We love it. We love it. In astrology, it just continues on. And the phrase, this too shall pass, absolutely counts for this week also. So next week we got Jupiter changing signs, the big planet of Jupiter grinding his way through the end of Aries this week, creating more endings within Aries themes. And then we have the new moon in Taurus next week, and also the sun moving into Gemini. And so, yes, it's going to be another good show next Tuesday at 4:30. I will be back, and I wish you a very good week, and I will talk to you then. Peace. Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Community Podcast. More can be found at kpov.org/thecosmiccommunity.